All right, we're live. How is everyone doing? Welcome to another live stream. We're going to be breaking down this beautiful Bitcoin price action as usual. Just want to remind you guys, I don't actually remind you guys enough anymore about this disclaimer. Nothing I share or have ever shared is financial advice. I'm merely outlining what my own analysis tells me. Always do your own research and don't be a bloody idiot. Haven't said that for a while. Let's take a look at this. We've seen a nice big Bitcoin pump. There's good volume coming in on this pump. My mind is in like 500 different places right now with this Bitcoin pump. It's so good. It's so bad. It's so unnatural. It's so manipulated. But it's so fun and interesting. Here's the deal. Look at the volume here when we were selling off. And when we were coming down to these levels, and look at the volume now. You know, I was telling you, like, over here, I really thought we would end up peaking into the 40k range. Volume was increasing. Look at the volume now. In fact, look at the volume now that we're consolidating. Right, Bitcoin started trading sideways in a small 4-hour falling wedge at the moment. Just a little bull flag on the 1-hour time frame if we zoom in even closer. It's literally just in a typical bull flag formation where we take a leg up, we form the classic staircase step, we move again upwards. We did it over here as well. So Bitcoin's doing that right now in terms of these short-term continuation patterns, and it's doing that as volume has really tapered off. In fact, I guess what I find somewhat concerning is that the real volume only came when Bitcoin broke the 40k barrier. When Bitcoin pumped up from the mid 40k area to the mid 41k area, it didn't actually get much volume following through. Which is, yeah, it's just something I want to point out. It's just a fact. I just want to point it out. Ladies and gents, as you're coming into this live stream, do me a favor and smash up the likes as we're in this one. I don't know how long or short this one's going to end up being, but that is always largely dependent on the reception of these live streams and so on. If they do well, obviously I'll keep doing it, but if not, it makes more sense to make videos. So please do me a favor and smash up those likes as you're coming in. Yeah, big, very important note there is the volume, like I mentioned. And then I guess the other thing that I really want to, make sure that we're not forgetting about is that we still have quite a bit of resistance on this chart. One of the things I was mentioning is that, because Bitcoin has dropped so much, it can rise up by a lot. And it's only now starting to reach the real big area of resistance on the daily time frame. Ethereum's actually a little bit more interesting for this because Ethereum is right now battling its key resistance area. And I'm not sure if I actually have it drawn properly on the chart, but it would be quite easy to show you guys. Let me just show it to you on this chart where Ethereum's real area of resistance. I'm going to go back to Bitcoin in just a second, but I want to show this to you because it's interesting. Let's wait for this chart to load up. Bear with me. Nearly there. Bam. Right here. If I draw a box of Ethereum's price action just to highlight a few key reversal zones in the market, or I'm sorry, where a few key reversals have happened in the market, we're looking at a box that stretches between about $3,040, literally right where we are at the moment, down to about $2,900, so roughly a $150, $200 range. And you can see some really nice reversals coming off this level. We attack this level as resistance and we get just fucking destroyed, absolutely obliterated on the way down. Again, we challenge it, huge rejection. Again, challenge it, huge rejection. Then when we manage to flip it, we're finding nice support, right? Support that initiates big jumps to the upside. In fact, this one support hit that set our brand new all-time high for Ethereum up at about $4,900. And then, of course, a little bit of a relief rally on the way down. So we're now challenging this area as resistance. It's a little bit clearer on Ethereum, and that's why I'm showing it to you. But if we go back to Bitcoin, it's pretty clear as well, broadly speaking, especially if I zoom out. I've had this yellow line drawn on the Coinbase chart for a long time now, but actually I'm just going to remove all of these because it's getting a little bit too cluttered. And again, I just want to paint the same thing for you at the moment on this chart, just showing you that kind of stretching between about $40,000 and $42,500. This is a very, very key reversal point in the market. Bitcoin first hit this area when it was rallying up from $20,000 way back in January of 2021. That's 13 months ago, by the way, a long time ago. And look, we triggered a really big correction. In fact, the first significant correction that we had that we had at all. Not only since 20k over here, not only since 10k over here, but since 3.5k over here, roughly, which is where Bitcoin bottomed out in the March coronavirus market crash of 2020. We didn't have a single significant pullback, in my opinion, until this one right here, where Bitcoin topped out at 42 and fell all the way down to about 29.5, and then continued moving on upwards. This triggered a really, really big reversal. Then again, like I said, nice, same thing as the Ethereum chart. Nice, big, consistent rejections for Bitcoin between 40,000 and 42,000, and really nice support as well. So it's functioning really, really well as a key reversal point in the market. And today we've just pumped straight into it. And it's very interesting how we pumped into it. This is where, you know, I mentioned like it's very manipulated. This is where I'm going to start getting into that. By the way, thank you all for shooting up the likes as you've tuned into this live stream. I do appreciate you all. It's a weird hour for me to be doing a live stream right now. So, you know, I don't know how well this stuff works. I do like to do these streams much later on in the day, maybe like 6, 7, 8 hours later than right now, because it is a weird time for the YouTube channel, but still very important analysis that needs to be covered anyway. And, you know, the other thing right now that I found very interesting is that, you know, I was very certain that Bitcoin was going to break up to this level just a few days ago. It ended up doing it about 2-3 days after I said it would, which is fine. But what I find interesting is that Bitcoin ended up getting this pump, which is very much like a lightsaber candle pump. I mean, this is one of those pumps that is quite clearly just, you know, it's not people all of a sudden becoming really excited with Bitcoin. Let's just be very clear about that. This is quite clearly market manipulation, in my opinion, purely because we had the perfect setup to move up, but we first stopped out you know, some of the people going long, for example, and then we ended up rallying to the upside. And we didn't really even capture support very well, in my opinion. If we look at the Bitstamp chart where I have all of these boxes drawn, you can see that, I mean, it nearly came down to my support area. My support area starts at about $36,000. Came within a few $100s of it, but realistically, I think an actual touch or test inside of the range would have made a lot of sense. Again, I'm just saying that, look, I think I still stand by what I was saying here. Bitcoin had a beautiful chance to break up. It literally just looks like it wanted to stop out a few people before moving on its way higher, which is fine. But now, see, this is the thing is, I want to establish really quickly. It is a fake out. Yeah, someone said this in the comments. I want to establish really quickly, you know, because this is going to impact how I trade the market in the near future. What kind of situation is Bitcoin in right now? Because, you know, Bitcoin can get relatively strange pumps that come out of nowhere that are very large on the daily time frame, right? This one, not as, I mean, this one's a lot larger than what we just had, but this was a 16% pump in one day, and the very next day up by another 6% for a collective move up from candle body open and closes by about 25% move roughly in about 2 days. But actually, if we measure it from roughly wick to wick, we're looking at more like a 40% pump. So really, really big move to the upside. And these are very dangerous phases in the market. You know, the pump should have stopped here, but it didn't because of manipulation. We all know that this was a massively, massively manipulated move in the market. If you were here back then, you would know that. And so what I want to, and the thing is, you know, when we trigger a move like this, it can keep going for a short while. That's what makes this area concerning, because Bitcoin has its resistance right now. Like, this is right where Bitcoin's resistance is. It would perhaps be a little bit more accurate if I actually drew the box up a little bit higher towards, you know, the mid 42k region, just to show you that the resistance hasn't ended where we are right now. But really, the main point of all of this is to show you that, again, look, if I take this on the daily time frame and I show you where the momentum is on this chart, let's take a look at this on the Coinbase chart because I have less drawings. It's pretty clear to see that right here on the daily time frame, we're now back in the same EMA ribbon that has rejected Bitcoin once, twice, thrice, 4, 5, yeah, about 5 times in a row. And not just recently, this is going back to late November. So we're talking like a 3-month time frame where we're still finding resistance from the very same indicator. What makes you think this time will be different? It's a very important question. I'm not saying that this time won't be different, right? This is all about having a nuanced discussion of the technicals, understanding what's going on before leaping to conclusions so that we can make informed decisions. That's what this YouTube channel is all about. I'm all about presenting to you both sides, telling you which way I'm leaning towards, and then giving you everything that hopefully you need to make your own decisions. It's the reason that this channel stays suppressed compared to other ones, is because, you know, this is actually a channel of truth. This isn't a channel about giving you hopium and telling you whatever you want. While Bitcoin was low, I was screaming for a reversal to the upside. And now that we've got that reversal to the upside, I'm warning you guys that we're at really strong resistance. My analysis hasn't actually changed. I've always been saying if Bitcoin hits this range, it's going to have heavy resistance up to about 42, or actually up to about mid 44. This is the other level I was outlining, because this is a recent swing high. This is a very, very important level. If Bitcoin manages to break this level, if it somehow gets above this yellow line, that's where I think we're actually in a really good place. If Bitcoin does manage to get above this red line, this yellow line, and it then drops down, I would only expect us to flip this area as support. Anything below this level, we're still under resistance, in my opinion. We're still under resistance on the EMA ribbon as well. So this is the thing, is we're not out of the woods. But if we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, people are starting to get a little bit more optimistic. Take a look at this. We're now at levels of 33. Yesterday it was 20. People are definitely getting more optimistic in this market right now. It's going to update in about 13 hours. That's way too far away right now. But broadly speaking, I think this is a very, very important sign in the market right now, that we're seeing the Fear and Greed Index display such a big move to the upside, while, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are probably going to start believing in this rally. That's one of the key things that I want to be looking at right now in this market is, are people starting to believe this? Are people starting to feel like a lot of faith that the market is actually going to be rising and staying high, that we may actually be able to top levels like the high 40k region, the 50k, 60k, maybe even set a brand new all-time high? Because here's the thing, here's the big catch with this whole move. Here's what people aren't talking about, is that regardless of how bullish or bearish you are, one of the conversations that I'm not hearing anyone saying is, well, look, here's the thing. When we get moves like this, it's always a question of, is this a relief rally like here before we drop down again? Or is this a major reversal like here and the market trends up to brand new spectacular levels, right? Here is a drop with a relief rally before a further drop. This could have been another relief rally where the market drops down again, but it wasn't. This was a reversal. It could have stopped and trended lower, and then it would have been a very clear relief rally like we've had many times, right? Again, here's another example. Here's another example right here. Bitcoin trending up, setting a brand new all-time high at 58k. By the way, this is roughly the price area where I liquidated my Bitcoins to buy my first ever house. That was very, very cool. I bought the house out here in Dubai for my mom. I'm very happy with that exit. That was absolutely phenomenal. And actually, the house is appreciated, because Dubai moves really quickly. The house is actually appreciated in value so much that it's like my average exit price now is like 63k. I don't brag about that enough. I'm super proud of it, so I gotta say it. But we end up forming a little bit of a drop, and then we have and this could have been the beginning of a bear market, but it ends up reversing and we move up. And then again, we have another drop, but it ends up reversing and we have a big move up. On this occasion, we don't actually get a reversal. This is just a relief rally, and we're now in a downtrend. Very, very important note. Very, very important nuance to understand, because that makes us ask the same question now. Are we in a relief rally that at some point somewhere here is going to find resistance and drop back down? Whether we set a new low, or we just fall down to the prior low, or we just fall down to 38 or 36 is not important. The point is, do we find resistance here, somewhere here, whether it's right here or a few hundred or a few $1,000s higher, or whatever the case may be, and then drop back down, or has the market reversed? And this is the thing, is that when we see key market reversals, I'm gonna ban some of the people in these comments that are spamming right now. That's not okay. Please don't spam. By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, I gotta remind you again, guys, please do me a favor and smash up the likes for this live stream right here. We've got to start asking the question, is this a relief rally which is going to end up dropping again, or is this a major reversal? And fortunately, we have a very easy way, or very few easy ways of being able to tell this. Broadly speaking, relief rallies are going to form where we set a low in the market and we slowly trend upwards, kind of like what happened here, this wasn't a very clean example. I guess a better example of this, let's see Bitcoin in its bear market. Let me see if I can find you examples of a relief rally. Bitcoin is always a little bit strange with these rallies, but I suppose this is one right here, right? I mean, Bitcoin drops massively from 20k down to 6. It forms a little bit of a rally. It doesn't stick, and we end up dropping down. You know, if we were in an actively trending market, we would have actually swept the low, but we didn't do that. We just kept on forming more and more relief rallies until eventually the market collapsed below the floor. So again, you know, I mean that it will form bottoming patterns, you know, if we're going to be rising up, because what happened after that, and this is really the kicker in my opinion, is that Bitcoin from 6k fell down to 3. This was at the end of 2018. Nobody was interested in Bitcoin at this time. But Bitcoin formed a really bullish pattern. It formed an ascending triangle pattern that looked a little bit like this. And we were talking about this on the YouTube channel, by the way. Those of you who were subscribed to the YouTube channel back then, you're going to know that I was getting bullish on Bitcoin at this time. I actually opened up a long position the day before this pump, literally zoned in at an insanely impressive level, and played a long position from literally the day before this pump happened all the way up to about 5.7k. That was a beautiful profit. Part of my position hit nearly 400%, which was one of the biggest percentage gains I ever hit in my life. Maybe it was the biggest up to that point, but recently I did manage to top that, which is pretty cool. But what we ended up forming here was an ascending triangle pattern. Very, very important. We ended up forming an ascending triangle pattern. This is a potential reversal pattern where what we're getting is the same. We're hitting the same highs, right? The same ceiling remains at $4,100, but our lows are gradually getting higher and higher and higher, showing us that pressure overall is trying to push to the upside. That is a big difference to what we're doing right now, where we're literally just forming an absolutely generic, normal continuation pattern, where Bitcoin is really just dropping down, forming a reaction rally up to a resistance level before potentially getting another drop down. This is a very, very typical reversal. I'm sorry, very, very typical continuation pattern. If, for example, Bitcoin ended up rallying up to this 38k, 40k level, dropping down, but this time bottoming out at 34, and then rallied up to the same point, but this time bottomed out at 36, and then rallied up to the same point, and this time bottomed out just slightly lower, then we would be forming something that would look a little bit more like an ascending triangle, just like what Bitcoin did when it was at the $3,000 range, and that would give us a classic reversal pattern. At the moment, we don't have a reversal pattern. What Bitcoin did is it set a brand new swing low. The previous swing low was right here at 39.7. Bitcoin set a brand new swing low at $33,000. And from there, we've just been rallying up in a slow, steady, straight line. This is not a normal bottoming pattern. Now, I must warn you guys, I've been wrong about stuff like this before. And the last time that I was famously wrong about this was right here with the March coronavirus market crash, which honestly, I still think overall, I'm still happy with my decision making here. You know, where I was basically saying that, you know, when Bitcoin started rallying up, I was saying it's borderline impossible for Bitcoin to be starting a brand new rally where it's going to be setting new all-time highs and reaching levels like $10,000 and $20,000 from a swing low. This is also not a reversal pattern. But the reason I'm showing this to you is that Bitcoin has set a slightly interesting reputation for forming reversals of patterns that are totally not, absolutely not by any definition a reversal pattern. What would have been a reversal pattern is if Bitcoin came back down to the same level, formed a double bottom, and then rallied up. That would then be completely fine. But when we're setting a brand new trend swing low, it's absolutely a terrible sign for the market, and it's generally an indication that we're going to come back down. Whether we come back down quickly, or it takes weeks or even months, it's generally an indication that we're going to be coming back down. Of course, this was a big, big exception because Bitcoin didn't do that, and then it managed to like nearly 20x from that. So it formed some really, really impressive price action, right? So I'm showing you how, you know, this has ended up working really nicely in the past in Bitcoin's favor, where it did things that just absolutely didn't make any sense whatsoever, in my opinion, but it still pulled it off anyway. So we can do it right now. But really, I mean, I would see these things as exceptions rather than the rule. And, you know, like, put it this way, when Bitcoin bottomed out last time, it leveled out, right? I mean, it was testing support a lot of times. You know, I mentioned a double bottom would have been appropriate for Bitcoin at that $3,000 range, then we pump up. This was like a pentuple, or whatever you call it, bottom. I mean, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits of the bottom of the bottom support area, the low 30k, high 20k area for support for Bitcoin. That's kind of a bottom pattern. Right here, this wasn't really a bottom pattern in my opinion, but again, we're at least interacting with the bottom area of the support a little bit more. It gives more credence, more, how do I say, more legitimacy to the idea of Bitcoin bottoming out. But again, coming off a brand new swing low, it's very easy to say that Bitcoin is probably going to return back down to this level at least. It's actually the same line of thought that I had when Bitcoin fell down to 42k and it instantly recovered up. It was very obvious that when Bitcoin formed this rally up to 52, that this rally would not stick, and we would definitely continue rallying back. I mean, not definitely. Nothing's definite in these markets. You know, I mean, I don't trade like anything's definite, because that's stupid. That's how you lose money when you go into it with such a rigid mindset like that. But bottom line, it was very clear to me, you know, with probabilities that Bitcoin is probably going to swing back down, because we didn't actually test this area of support again. And generally, we're not going to be setting swing lows like this and then not revisiting them. We're at least going to revisit them and then potentially break them, which is exactly what I was warning about to those of you who were subscribed to this YouTube channel. Once again, shout out to those of you who are showing your engagement on this live stream. I do appreciate that. I see it all going down. It is absolutely amazing. Although actually right now, YouTube is bugging out and not giving me the proper data on this live stream. It says that there's only one viewer, but I can see that there's way more likes than that. So thank you all for mooning them up right now. But that's the question that I'm starting to develop in this market right now. A lot of people are getting excited. A lot of people are probably going to be thinking about Bitcoin rallying back up and recovering and so on. And I really want to be able to take a little step back and analyze that sentiment. You know, if I see that the retail is getting very excited with Bitcoin again, you know, generally they're going to be on the wrong side of it. I remember when Bitcoin was trading in the mid 30k, low 30k region, everyone and their nan was talking about $20,000 Bitcoin, $25,000 Bitcoin, $28,000 Bitcoin. These absolutely, I don't have words that I can say in a public forum, annoying people that say they have some sort of fucking insider information that Bitcoin's going to go down to 20k. All this bullshit was only coming out while Bitcoin was down here. I'm just stating the facts, ladies and gents. This is what this channel is all about. Again, you already know the deal. I'm telling you what I see for the bullish side. I'm telling you what I see for the bearish side. Everyone and their nan was talking about Bitcoin dropping down into the 20k range at this point. So I was very vocal about how people are really losing too much faith with the market. And naturally, we need to form a little bit of a relief rally. So we're getting it right now, which is absolutely great. What I want to see right now is how do people respond to this right now? It's a little bit too early to say. I need to, you know, actually be able to read sentiment. It only happened over the past few hours, so it's not so easy to do that very quickly. But this is a very important question to be asking, in my opinion, right now. How do people feel? Are people starting to believe this, or are people completely losing faith? Because it's only the rallies where people have completely lost faith, like right here, where I was also wrong, by the way. I'm very public about these things. I'll tell you guys about when I'm right, which fortunately is most of the time. Me and my big ego, but I'm also wrong a lot of the time. I was completely wrong over here where I thought we'd be going down to 24k, and I was completely wrong at the top as well, where I thought that we would probably blast above 70k, and I actually lost money over here. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have lost money over here as well. I can't really remember. For the most part, I was actually bearish throughout this whole rally. I wasn't bearish, but I was very hesitant, way more hesitant than the average crypto guy, way more hesitant than the average crypto YouTuber. Very hesitant on this rally, very hesitant over here. You guys who know, who watch this channel will know about that. But unfortunately, it was literally like the very last 2 or 3 days where I caved and I ended up being on the wrong side of it. So, you know, I'm telling you this because I might sound like I really know what I'm doing, and I generally think that I do, but obviously you need to take everything that I say with a pinch of salt. Same for everybody else. That's why I only try and outline the facts and let you guys make your own decision, so that you have the highest probability of being successful in your own way. You know, I don't want you guys to be misled or have your opinions heavily skewed just because you might respect me or something. I see that happening with a lot of people. I know that I've done it to YouTubers that I was watching, so it's very, very bad. And that's what I aim to prevent on this channel. Because this is all about free thinking. You know, I want you guys to be free thinkers, make your own conclusions. Just make sure that you have all the facts, really. That's very important. So let's talk about where the resistance range is. I've already drawn this green box. I think that the resistance range, you know, kind of stretches between about, 40,000 and 42.5. The top of the resistance range, in my opinion, is going to be 44.5 because this was our prior swing high. If we manage to break above this, I think we're going to be doing very well. Like I said, any point below this area, still in danger territory, in my opinion. It's very, very important for me to see if Bitcoin starts losing steam. At the moment, on the 1 hour time frame, for example, if we really take a very deep dive in, I don't necessarily see that we're losing steam. We are losing volume right now. But it is a classic bull flag pattern right now. I mean, very, very classic. You know, trend is narrowing up, coiling up for a potentially quite large explosion. This is a very, very classic bullish pattern in the market. Again, the problem that I have is we're forming this pattern inside of resistance. So this is where I'm saying, look, I don't want to be getting too excited by this stuff right now. Can we take another leg up? Absolutely. Will we still probably be in resistance? Absolutely. If Bitcoin pumps up with similar strength to its most recent big pump right here, that's only gonna, I mean, this pump, how big was this pump? Let's just take a look at this right now from candle open to close. That was a 1.9% $700 move. So if Bitcoin does the same thing again right now, it's actually going to be at the very top of my resistance range. And actually, I mean, Bitcoin can still, this is the thing I was saying actually before, guys, is that Bitcoin can still rise, you know, all the way up to 44.5 and it's still going to have resistance. I don't think people are prepared for that. You know, if we see, if Bitcoin stabilizes and we see the fear and greed index today, it's probably going to be a lot higher than where it is right now, where we're going to be closer to neutral territories. That alone is going to seal the deal for me, where I'm going to be convinced that this market must continue dropping back down. You know, because people seem to be gaining a little bit too much faith in Bitcoin a little bit too quickly, just in my own opinion. You know, and that is always very, very concerning to me. By the way, I can see that some of you guys are starting to drop your questions in the comments. Do me a favor, if you do have a question, just make sure that you write my name with the @ symbol so that you tag me at @SammyLoyal-4flies. It's going to autofill for you. Make sure you do that and then drop me your questions. I'm going to start going through them right now. I'm also going to take a quick look through the altcoins as well, because that is pretty much my Bitcoin analysis rounded up. I also want to talk about what happens if we do get a rejection. If we do get a rejection, I would be looking at support at 38. This is actually what I said to you guys before, where because this area is really good, was acted as really good resistance for Bitcoin just over the past couple of weeks. Yeah, just over the past kind of 2 weeks, this area was really good resistance for Bitcoin. If we end up dropping back down, I would now expect support here. This is the beautiful thing, and this is why, you know, when people say I'm just a perma bear or I'm always trying to scare people in the market, it's straight up not true. I'm just laying out the facts here. When we form good resistance, if we rise above it, we're probably going to be able to find support there, which is always absolutely great. It's really, really nice to see. And so with this range, if we do manage to come back down, I will be expecting support here. If we don't find support here, I'm going to be expecting support at the 36K range. And if we don't find support there, I'm going to be expecting support at the 33K range. If we don't find support at 33, 30K is my final frontier for Bitcoin. Anything below that, and I think we're looking at $20,000 or thereabouts. For now, though, we have a really good support at 30K, and the single best thing that Bitcoin could do, in my opinion right now, is come back down to retest it, because that would mean that it's going to form a little bit of a retracement on this very aggressive pump, and then I think it's going to have a much easier time breaking resistance if it manages to do so at all. Got quite a lot of questions here. Let me start going through them right now. So, any opinions on silver and gold? No, not really. Let me take a quick peek at gold. Still trading at $1,800 per ounce. Pretty much been here for, feels like the past year. Yeah, literally the past year, it's been sideways. I don't know what opinion I can give you here. It's a pretty sad chart, to be honest. It hasn't even risen with inflation. That's upsetting for the gold nuts. Insights on Ethereum and XRP for this year. I mean, look, Ethereum is at a bigger area of resistance than Bitcoin right now. It's right at its area of resistance. Bitcoin's also at its area of resistance, but with Ethereum, I think it's a little bit more profiled. However, I do expect that these markets are going to be trending back up and setting brand new all-time highs this year. I've already explained a lot of reasons for why, so I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you're subscribed, you'll know all about it. So make sure you are. Make sure you're engaging with these videos if you're not doing so already. By the way, if you want to jump inside of VIP, these are the steps on screen where you can be able to watch me trading in real time. If you like the way I'm talking about these markets, if you appreciate the no bullshit approach, and you want to see how this approach in analysis gets translated into trading, which is the other half of this game, you can do that. You can gain access to it by clicking on the first link in the description down below, clicking on the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4flies Gold, and then clicking on send message to ask me how to join 4flies VIP. Also, Bybit, if you want to sign up on the same exchange that I'm using, check out the link in the description down below. You're going to be getting some free cash deposited into your account, not up to $4,100 anymore. I actually need to make sure that I'm not saying that in the description. I think it is. Yes, let me just remove that line. Get free cash on Bybit. It's not $4,100 anymore. That offer is off, but you do still get some free money for signing up to Bybit, so do check that out if you want to do so using my link in the description down below. But yeah, because I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably going to be rallying up and setting brand new all-time highs this year, I would also expect that Ethereum is probably going to be outperforming Bitcoin. I've been saying that for a long time, and I still believe that to be the case. Let's see what are the questions we have here. Do I think 2020 will be bullish or bearish? Firmly bullish. Very firmly bullish. Very firmly bullish. Because 2021 was a very slow bearish year. A very slow bullish year. We didn't really do much in 2021. So I think that really all we're doing is getting ready for a lot of pressure to explode to the upside. That's what I believe. I may be wrong. Would suck if I am wrong, but definitely possible. But that's what I believe, and that's how I'm positioning my funds in this market as well. Where would I look to set up my long positions? Great question, thank you. If we go back to the Bitcoin chart, I really, because it's a swing low, right? Based off what I was saying towards the beginning of this live stream, because it's a swing low, I don't want to be buying. I don't want to be going long on Bitcoin at all, unless we start to retest support areas. If we successfully retest 38,000, this would be a beautiful area to buy. I'm sorry, this is actually 39,000. If we successfully retest 39,000, this is a beautiful area to buy it back. For example, we retest it, we go back up to 40K, find resistance there. If we come back down to this level again, I'd probably be a buyer. I wouldn't be a buyer on the first time we drop down here right now. That might change depending on if I see some signs of strength here and then the market drops. Well, then I might be a little bit more inclined because I'll have more data to go off. But for the moment, it's yeah, I mean, I would want to be buying off support. However, I don't want to be missing the train, right? So if we do end up getting, you know, big breakouts to the upside, like I said, my key level to break is 44.5. This was our prior swing high. We are officially, by some definitions, not all, but by some, including the ones that I respect, officially going to be out of the bear trend if we break 44.4. And so this would be another level that I would consider becoming very bullish on Bitcoin again. If, for example, we pass this level, I may decide to go long straight away. Or, if Bitcoin passes this level, finds resistance at, say, $50,000, $49,000 and comes back down to 44, 42, 40, again, I will be a buyer at these price levels upon a retest. These are the conditions that I'm looking for. Right now, when there is a massive lightsaber candle to the upside and people were feeling total and utter shit, and people are probably feeling a little bit more hope right now, and that's being reflected by the fear and greed index, and we're going to see that reflected in other numbers, I would imagine, as well, in other metrics, which are a little bit harder to measure. I don't want to be getting bullish right now. honestly, I just want to be reminding myself of where the resistance is, the fact that we haven't broken it, the fact that we're still in a downtrend, the fact that we haven't broken that downtrend, we've just set a brand new swing low, we're only having a reaction rally. This is quite a large reaction rally now. I was calling for this for a long time. This is now a 26% reaction rally, the biggest one that we had up to this point since we set the all-time high, with the exception of this wick, was plus 14.5% right here. So this is now quite a substantial reaction rally, and it's coming at a price level that I told you guys to expect it at. I was very vocal about how the low 30k range was probably going to be a good support area for Bitcoin. I was saying that these are great areas to buy. I mean, a lot of people were asking me, and I was like, look, buying anywhere in this region is a phenomenal entry point for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Even if Bitcoin ended up dropping down even more, this is still a very, very good buy area for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Sorry about that. That was quite scary because it rang my Apple Watch as well. But that gives us a very, very nice insight into, 40k was resistance. We knew this before, and so we were expecting to find resistance here. And now that we're here, the fact that it's resistance hasn't changed. I want to remind you guys about that. I mean, it always feels a little bit more nerve-wracking when you're actually in the moment. It's harder to stand by those principles of just remembering that resistance is resistance. At the end of the day, a lot of people struggle to remember these things, but that's why I'm here, to stay level-headed and hopefully help you guys with the same thing as well. Let's see what other questions we have here. I'm not going to look at shitcoins for this live stream, actually. Not unless it's a shitcoin that I'm already looking at, because I don't want to be doing any brand new analysis. Am I putting the coat in the closet or keeping it close by? It's actually in the living room right now. It's not in this room. I don't have it. The weather in Dubai is getting really nice, by the way. It's heating up. That's nice. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. Are we forming a Wyckoff accumulation pattern? I still think we are, yeah. I mean, if we find resistance here and drop back down, it's definitely going to be in line with a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Do you think we're testing the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern? That is a very good question. Yes, we are. Definitely. Although we didn't really form a good head and shoulders pattern. Let me show you what this guy is talking about. Take a look at this. So, we've actually broken this resistance area. That is a big sign. That's a big breakout. That is a big deal. That's very, very good. That is very, very good. But anyway, let's hide this line for the minute. Let's take a look at the head and shoulders pattern. What this person is talking about is Bitcoin formed a left shoulder right here, formed a head, right shoulder right here, and then got a breakdown below. So the pattern looks a little bit like this, and like this. And the person is asking, is Bitcoin retesting this head and shoulders pattern right now? For those of you who don't know, the head and shoulders pattern, a lot of people know what this pattern is, but they don't understand it, which is a major problem. I mean, you need to understand what you're looking at. This is, by the way, like when you join 𝗪fly's VIP and you gain access into our courses and stuff like that, this is what you're getting. You're getting content like this where I'm not just going to tell you what's going on, I'm going to make sure you understand it. Like you actually understand it in and out, because if you just see it, you're not going to be able to really have conviction to trade and put your money behind ideas until you properly understand it. It's just the way it is. It is the crucial red pill that you need to swallow. If you don't, you'll forever be in misery as a trader. I'm speaking from experience. It is what it is. It is that's just how it is. But if you want to understand the head and shoulders pattern, I guess one of the best ways to look at it, first of all, is that we set a high. We managed to come back down to support and set a brand new high, so we've gained a little bit of strength. But then we lost all of that strength. And then we tried to muster up another rally, but we couldn't. And so really what this is a display of is that there's initially a fair bit of bullish momentum. Then there's a lot of bullish momentum. Then it's lost completely. Then we try again and we can't get back up there. So this is almost like if you imagine a boxing match with one of my terrible analogies, let's get straight back into it. If you imagine a boxing match where somebody is initially putting up a really good fight, but then he gets knocked down, it's fine. He puts up an even better fight the next time and he nearly wins the fight. But then he gets knocked down completely. This person is now in a very, very weak position. He tries again, and this time he only gets as far as his first attempt, it is a very clear sign that where before there was a lot of strength, he's not able to muster up the same level of strength again, so he collapses through the floor. Now, that's understanding the head and shoulders pattern in itself, but where a head and shoulders pattern is actually validated, where a head and shoulders pattern becomes legit, is when you fall down and you come back up for a back test. This is the back test right now. If we now find resistance, according to classic head and shoulder theory, this would be a terrible, terrible pattern. The target is atrocious. It's like, I mean, I measured this for you guys before. I don't like talking about price targets like this because I think it's actually unrealistic. But I mean, this is a 40% drop. So if we got a 40% drop to the downside now, that would put us at about $24,000. I know you can't see the price, but it's 24. Or if we measure it in terms of dollar drop, that would be a $27,000 drop from here, which is also just too ridiculous to talk about. It's $14,000 as a target. I don't even think that's going to happen. I think this head and shoulders pattern is far too... I mean, first of all, I don't even think it's valid. The right shoulder isn't great. Usually the retest is going to happen faster than this. But look, put it this way. If we do get a rejection here, a lot of people are going to be seeing that as the complete head and shoulders pattern. And in this case, yes, it is incredibly, incredibly dangerous. If Bitcoin does manage to get even slightly higher than where it is right now, I mean, literally just $2,000, $3,000 higher than where it is right now, the head and shoulders pattern will be totally, totally invalidated. And we're going to be in clear waters. We're going to be okay according to this pattern. But at the moment, as it stands, this has very strong potential to be absolutely terrible for Bitcoin. This is the thing, is that when we're in downtrends, we form reaction rallies. And reaction rallies are where smart people are loading up their shorts, selling their Bitcoin again, getting ready for another dip. I'm not saying that that's what we're in right now, but what I am saying is that what we have on the chart is generally quite synonymous with what a reaction rally looks like. Doesn't mean that we're in a reaction rally. I want to be very, very clear with you. Again, when I told you guys about this during the March coronavirus market crash, I was very, very wrong about it. I also thought that this was a reaction rally when Bitcoin crashed from 10K to 3K, because it was a bloody big downtrend, right? I mean, anybody in their right mind would have thought the same thing. You'd have to be just straight up lucky. I don't think there was any technical analysis you could find in the world that would tell you that Bitcoin's actually going to go up to set brand new all-time highs right now. It just, I mean, this is one of those occasions where you can be the best analyst in the world and you're still going to get it wrong. I mean, very few people got it right, and those who did are probably generally incorrect every single other time in the market because they're always just making really weird fringe analysis in order to be edgy. So, you know, you ever heard this saying of, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day? That's, you know, those are the type of people that would have been right about Bitcoin right here. Because bottom line, this was a huge drop where Bitcoin drops by about, 60-70% in the space of about 2 weeks. I mean, very, very quick drop right here. No, 1 month takes Bitcoin to drop by about 65%. Absolutely abysmal. And then we form a reaction rally. So to me, it was very clear that this thing was going to drop back down upon reaching previous support, flipping into new resistance, right? So, that's what it looks like. But of course, Bitcoin has formed a real reversal off a swing low before. Doesn't mean that we're going to do it again, because like I said, I think that's very much the exception rather than the rule. But it's something that's worth keeping an eye on anyway. I'm going to go through a couple last questions and then head off for this live stream, but I'll probably do another one later tonight. So if you are enjoying this one, do me a favor and smash up the likes. Let me know that you want to see the other one in a few hours. If I do another one, I would probably do it at about, probably in about 7-8 hours from now, just to space them out. We'll have a lot more price action to analyze at that point as well. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it as well. Someone's saying I never talk about Cardano. That's just not true. I talk about Cardano in nearly every live stream. Let's take a quick look at Cardano right now. It's at $1.15. It's not really moving against Bitcoin. It did move up a little bit. Nothing interesting I can say about Cardano really. It should be due for a really big bounce, because this is generally how Cardano forms really big bounces. But I don't have anything to say beyond that, to be honest. Look at Ethereum spot buy points. I've already outlined my Ethereum spot buy point. For me, the best one would be anywhere between $1,700 and $1,900. I missed the bottom. Is it possible to see 33K or 30K so I can get in? I feel like it's fairly probable that Bitcoin's going to drop back down into the 30K range. I mean, I'm not holding my breath for it. That's why I was saying before that it was a really good idea to buy Bitcoin when it was in the 30K region. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but I certainly expect that we're going to go back down to those levels. You guys loving the bad analogies? You already know the deal. To be fair, the boxing analogy wasn't actually that bad, but but still, yeah. What I'm known for. That's what we do on this channel. I like the pump, but why pump the weekends? Lots of shorts liquidated, might be a massive bull trap. It stinks of bull trap. I mean, yeah, you said it yourself. It's happened on a weekend. I don't know if it happened on a weekend in US time zone though, because US time zone is the one that matters in my opinion, and I think it happened during trading hours. Actually, I don't need to wonder this. I can just check. Let me take a look at the Bitcoin chart on the CME chart. Bitcoin on CME futures. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Right here. Let's see where Bitcoin ended its trading session yesterday. Yeah, so I mean, we're $1,000 higher compared to the CME close, but that's not really such a problem in my opinion. Yep. So I'm not too worried about that. I definitely think we're going to drop down to the, I mean, it's only $1,000 away, you know, down to the low 40K area. Couldn't this just be a liquidity hunt for late short sellers to grab liquidity before going further back down? Absolutely, yes, 100%. I think that's exactly what it is. What is a liquidity hunt, though? For those of you who are curious, a liquidity hunt basically means that a lot of people have probably entered short positions quite late, and they're now getting screwed on the market because the market is rising. And if the market rises and you're in a short position, that means you're selling Bitcoin. The only way you can close that active short position is by buying Bitcoin, and so that drives the price higher, and it triggers a lot of panic and FOMO and so on, and it traps people. That's where people call that's why people call it a bull trap as well. My analogies and ego comes together in a really good analysis. Thank you very much. That is a very nice compliment. I'll take that. The boxing analogy was great, actually. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I'm going to take a couple final questions and then head off. I am feeling terrible right now. I did not sleep enough. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. The market is quite hot, so I don't really want to go to bed. I want to watch this, and because I anticipate that I'm going to be trading something very, very soon. I already briefed VIPs on exactly what I want to do. Again, if you're not already inside, now's your chance. You're missing out. Click on the first link in the description down below, at @4flights button at the bottom of any post inside of gold, and then send message to ask me how to join. We'll get you inside. You're going to get analysis from me, insights on trades I'm making, down to the dollars I'm entering, at the dollar level I'm entering. Pardon me, my my exit, my stop loss, my take profit points, and so on. All that stuff going straight into VIP. So if you want to see that, check it out. If you don't want to pay for anything, but you want more free stuff from me, still check out the first link in the description down below. That will take you to this 4flights Gold channel, where you get even more analysis that looks like this from yours truly, from myself. How likely is a rejection from $43,000? I would anticipate that a rejection from 43,000, or roughly that range, I'm going to call it 42, 42 and a half, is very likely. I would say it's very likely. The only thing that makes me a little bit unsure about this is that Bitcoin is not really following organic price action right now. You know, all of this stuff here, like everything in this range was very organic price action up until this dip here, which now that we've pumped up is very clear that this move down was also a liquidity hunt, but this was for longs. You know, so markets, I mean, they fuck you in both ways. They go down and then they shoot up. I mean, this is a very typical liquidity hunt. And because of that, when we're in a very unnatural trading environment, it's difficult to analyze Bitcoin. It was easy to analyze Bitcoin over here. That's why I was right about basically every move. Actually, not since here, but since, you know, before Bitcoin even went to $52,000. You know, we've had a very, very good success rate on the channel. Not even here. I mean, pretty much since the high, actually. You know, the channel's been, I mean, we've been predicting things very, very well in this market, but I completely fucked it up over here and the subsequent move because of all the manipulation here. and that makes it difficult. It's the only reason that I haven't entered a position yet. Otherwise, I'm so certain about what I think is going to happen. I feel it's so likely, but at the very same time, it's so dangerous. It is so dangerous, given that we're not having organic price action right now. Brad loves these lives. Such valuable insight. Thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in, man. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I'm going to be heading off. I hope you have enjoyed this one. YouTube is bugging out. It says there's only 5 people watching this live stream right now. I have no idea why it's saying that. If you did enjoy this live stream, you know what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, jump inside of VIP if you want to gain access to absolutely everything. Bybit, link in the description if you want some free cash to be able to trade on the very same exchange that I'm using. You will need a VPN depending on where you are, but of course, I can't endorse that. And if you have enjoyed this one yet, you already know what to do. I'm out. Very tired, but I'll probably do another live stream later on today. So make sure you are subscribed and got your notifications turned on so that you can see it. All right, guys, have a great